Hey everybody, welcome back to the Danger. On today's episode, we're checking out 6 new wireless headsets for the PlayStation 5. Stick around.
Nice to be in orbit.
Hey, thanks for joining me everybody. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe below. Like I mentioned before, on this episode, we're going to do a headphone shootout for the PlayStation 5. I'm testing 6 different wireless headphone sets that work with the PlayStation 5 and enhance your gaming experience. The features I'm looking for are good connectivity, a nice microphone, quality build, etc. And since I've been using these old PlayStation 4 headphones that are now duct taped together, I think it's time to upgrade to a new set. So hang out with me today, check out all these headphones that I review here on the Danger, and let's get going. Okay, first things first, let's go over some of the criteria I had to keep in mind when testing out all of these new wireless headphones for the PS5. So the first thing that I decided to do was come up with 6 different categories that I wanted to judge these headsets on. Starting with quality, I'm going to give it a 1 through 5 rating. Then I'm going to follow it up with style. Then I'm going to follow it up with comfort. After that, we'll review the sound. After that, it's the control and features. And then finally, the microphone quality. Each headset will get a total score of 1 through 5. I'll also list whether it has Bluetooth, passive auxiliary modes, what the different 3D or spatial audio features are, how you charge it, how many hours the battery lasts, how much they weigh, and finally, what is the end cost. Coming in at just under $300, we have the Audeze Penrose. These weigh 320 grams. They have 15 hours of battery life. They are charged by USB-C. They have Bluetooth capability. They also have a passive or auxiliary port, so you can plug them directly into your controller if the battery dies. Unfortunately, they don't have 3D or spatial audio. When it came to quality, I would say that they're cheap plastic and nothing to write home about. Style, same thing. They really didn't have anything fancy. They look like your run-of-the-mill headphones. Comfort was horrible. I felt like the clamping force was way too hard on the side of my head, especially when I wear glasses. It really dug my glasses into my temples. When it comes to sound quality, these sounded great. I gave them a 3 out of 5. They weren't anything too special, but they were very clear and easy to adjust. Bringing me to the controls and features, which also had so much customization. I loved it. This has tons of buttons to play with, and you can fine-tune this to exactly how you need it, which that also included the microphone. Everybody I played with said that the microphone was loud and clear. All in all, I'm giving this a 2.8 out of 5. Next up, at about $160, we have the HyperX Cloud Alpha wireless. This wireless headset weighs about 318 grams. It offers 300 hours of battery life. Yeah, you heard me right, 300 hours. It's charged by USB-C. It does have spatial audio in the form of DTS-X. It does not have a passive or auxiliary port, so you can't hook it into your controller if that 300 battery hour time limit runs out. And it doesn't have Bluetooth either. But when it comes to quality, I would say these are built really well. They have a nice leather top strap, as well as very comfortable and nice large ear cups made of some good plastics and metals. The style, nothing crazy. They do look like your standard headphones, but they have that nice red color, and it's like a powder-coated red. So that was very nice to look at. When it came to comfort, these things were awesome. By far, the most comfortable headphones that I tested. The ear cups were huge. They were great with glasses on. The clamping force was very tolerable. All in all, super comfortable headset. In fact, my favorite out of the list. Very, very comfortable. When it came to sound quality, these sounded amazing. Excellent bass, clear vocals from every angle. You could tell when somebody's footsteps or when the car was driving up next to you. I really, really liked the sound in these. Unfortunately, you couldn't control much as far as sound went. You had to go deep into the PlayStation menu to change anything around. It only had one volume dial on the right side. It also had a mute button and a power button, but that was it. And to top it off, the microphone sounded horrible. Everybody I talked to said it was staticky and clipping, so I had to give that a 1 out of 5. All in all, the HyperX Cloud Alpha Wireless scored 3.2 out of 5. The third headset we're going to test on today's shootout is the Turtle Beach Stealth 600 Generation 2. These headphones run you about $70. They weigh 290.2 grams, and they have roughly 15 hours of battery life. You do charge them using USB-C. They do not have any 3D or spatial audio listed on any of the information, but they still sound pretty good. Unfortunately, if the battery runs out, there is no passive auxiliary port to plug them directly into your controller, and it also does not have Bluetooth. When it comes to quality, they are made of all plastic. They do sound plasticky when you have them on your head. The microphone flips down. That's also made of some kind of loose plastic with, not a lot of features. Just be careful with that microphone drop down. It probably could break easily if you get it stuck somewhere, unlike the others that are microphones that you can bend and twist. The style looks cool. They look futuristic. They have a ton of cool features with different dials for the microphone. You can upgrade the firmware on your PC, etc. And the comfort's not bad either. The ear pads feel nice. They definitely have good usability when it comes to wearing glasses. And the sound quality is right in the middle. Nothing too bassy, nothing too trebly. The sound is fine. You can adjust it, but nothing crazy that really got my attention. Controls and features, like I mentioned, you have a mic dial, you have a speaker dial, and that's about it. But that's more than some of the others have. And the microphone actually does sound really good. So all in all, these got a 3.3 out of 5. The next headset I decided to test was the Corsair HS80 wireless RGB headset. Coming in at just around $150. These weigh 167 grams, have a decent battery life of 20 hours. They are charged via USB-C. They do have Dolby Atmos capability for 3D sound. They do not have passive audio or auxiliary port to plug into your controller, and they don't have Bluetooth. But the quality is there. These things are very, very nice feeling. They have a heft to them. The plastic is a good quality plastic. Everything operated and functioned steadily. They had a very good build quality is what I'm trying to say. And the style, man, I think these look the best. Not to mention they also have some RGB features so they light up and have that gamer attitude to them. The other thing I did like was the comfort. They weren't horrible, they weren't out of this world, but they were comfortable and I could game with them for quite a long period of time. The sound quality, however, was nothing. Honestly, it had no good highs, it had no good bass. It was just a mid-level speaker that, even with the Dolby Atmos feature, didn't do anything special, unfortunately. The controls, same thing. It had a volume button, it had a mute button, and it had a power button, and that was about it. Not very fun when you can't add extra features to dial up that bass or that treble or change anything. The microphone, however, was great. It was actually the most clear sounding microphone when I gamed with these. In my group of friends, everybody said that the headphone microphone on this headset for the HS80 sounded phenomenal. Very clear and easy to use. The total score of the Corsair HS80 wireless RGB headset is 3.5 out of 5. So being that this is a PlayStation 5 wireless headset review, I decided to test the Sony INZONE H7 wireless headset. This just came out a month or so ago, and I decided to give them a shot. The cost is around $230. They weigh roughly 325 grams. They have a nice 40-hour battery life. They also have USB-C for charging. They have Sony's 3D spatial audio. They do not have a passive auxiliary port to plug them in if they die, so that kind of sucks. But they do have Bluetooth, so that's kind of a nice feature, something that the Sonys in the past haven't had. When it came to quality, they were a plasticky feel, but they also felt nice and light and functional. They clicked, they turned correctly, they didn't rattle. The quality was nice. Nothing too special, but better than Sony's I've used in the past. When it comes to style, they look really nice. The ear cups are nice and large, but they don't protrude too far. The headset sounds really good, and that allows for long and extended periods of gaming. That plays right into the comfort. These things were number 2 on the list of comfort. The ear cups were huge. They worked really, really well when I wore glasses. And yes, I could game with them for hours. The sound, nothing special. I was pretty disappointed. For $229, these did not sound like a premium headset. They had run-of-the-mill speakers with drivers that barely put out much bass, and the treble was just meh. Controls were better than a lot of the other sets. You could control, rather than having to go into the PlayStation 5 menu, you could control most of the volume settings right from the headset. That's always a positive if you don't have to jump into menus and miss any type of gaming to make some slight adjustment to your mic volume or speaker volume. That being said, the mic sounded awesome. Everybody I played with mentioned how clear it sounded, and yeah, that got a 5 out of 5 for the microphone. So the total score for the Sony INZONE H7, 3.7 out of 5. Last on the list is a headphone from the maker SteelSeries. These come in at about $170, and they're called the Arctis 7P Plus. So these weigh roughly 453 grams. They're definitely the heaviest headset that I've tested. They have a 30-hour battery life, so pretty good. They can be charged via USB-C. They do have the Sony 3D spatial audio, so that's a nice feature. They also have a passive auxiliary port, so yes, if they die, you can plug them into your controller and continue to game. The only thing I really couldn't figure out about this headset was the wireless USB device that plugs into the front of your PlayStation. The receiver for it was like ultra wide, so if you plugged it into the USB-C port on the front of your PlayStation 5, it covers up the USB-A port. So you either have to like get an extender and hang it off to the side, or you have to just not use that USB-A port on the front, which I thought was really weird. Kind of a bad design, probably just because it works with all their other devices, they just carried it over. I mean, it's nice that it's USB-C, but very dumb that they had to use it in the front USB-C port to cover up the USB-A port. They also have Bluetooth. So if you feel like listening to something else while you're gaming from a different device, you have that capability. The quality of these headphones were excellent. The plastic was made of really nice material. The microphone had several different materials and different colors that made it stand out. It had some LED lights on the microphone. The style was okay, nothing to write home about once again, but it did have some cool features that made it stand out from the rest. The comfort, though, was really nice. They felt really good around the ears. They sealed very well. I could wear them with glasses for several hours and my ears didn't get sore. And then the sound quality. They were okay, middle of the road. I found that with a lot of these headsets. There was just middle of the road sound quality, nothing crazy. They do have the ability to be updated if you use their website and download their software to your PC. That's up to you. I don't know what kind of articulation you can get from that, but it's possible that they could be upgraded to sound a little bit better. As far as the controls and features, though, it had tons of controls on the outside of the headset, so you could mess with your volume and your different settings right from the headset when it comes to your microphone, etc. And I'm happy to report that the microphone itself sounded really good. I got nothing but compliments about how clear I sounded. So all in all, this headset came out to be very, very positive. In fact, it got the highest score of 4.0 out of 5. In conclusion, I compiled this list. This shows you on a ranking scale of 1 to 5 where all of these headsets land. I'll make sure to post this list on the Dangen Facebook page if you're interested in looking back. Otherwise, just pause it on the screen and take a look. So my results didn't come without controversy, and what I mean by that is, what headset did I like the best? Well, truthfully, I loved the HyperX Cloud Alpha wireless. These things were super comfortable and the sound quality was fantastic. The only thing that was really bad on this headset was the microphone. So if you're looking for a headset and you're not using the mic that much, I highly, highly, highly recommend the HyperX Cloud Alpha wireless. As far as headset that disappointed me the most, I'd have to say it's the Audeze Penrose. I mean, I really thought at a $300 price point that these things would be awesome, but really they had run-of-the-mill sound. The comfort was horrible. The clamp force was too strong on my head, and the build quality just seemed really cheap. I don't really recommend the Audeze Penrose. So finally, what did I choose in the end? Well, it ended up being the SteelSeries Arctis 7P Plus. This headset had everything that I needed. It had the comfort, it had the build quality, it had all the features on the outside of the headset. I hated the USB stick, and I'm gonna have to figure out a way to work around that because I don't want to take up all those ports on the front of the PS5, but that really was the only downfall. I think the Sony came in a solid second, but it just was kind of cheaply made, and it could probably use a few more features, especially that passive audio option in case the battery dies or I want to take them somewhere or use them on a different device. So yeah, in the end, you guys make your own decision. I'm definitely going to check out more headphones. Doing this review really opened my eyes to what's out there, and I think there's a lot of opportunity to build upon even the one that I chose as my favorite with the SteelSeries. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me on today's episode. I'm going to leave links to all the different headsets we tried today in the description below. If you have any questions, make sure you leave it in the comments, and of course, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Thanks again for joining me here on The Dangen, and I'll talk to you guys next time.